Continuing our remembrance of 9/11, nearly 700 Vermonters at the National Guard were immediately put into active duty as the horror unfolded in New York City and Washington, D.C. 11 years ago. In addition to changing our nation forever, those attacks also altered the lives of those serving in the Guard. News Channel 5's Charlie Gora spoke with a few of the Green Mountain Boys and is live in the newsroom tonight with more. Charlie?
Bridget, before September 11, 2001, the mission of the Guard was to train for a war they hoped would never happen. But once the second plane hit the Twin Towers, the Guard considered the U.S. a nation at war. And that's a stance that changed the Guard's responsibility to this day.
It seems like every 9/11 since 2001 has been a beautiful day like this for us to remember just the tragedies that took place that day.
On this 9/11, the flight ramp at the National Air Guard is quiet, a stark contrast from the morning 11 years ago when the first plane hit the Twin Towers.
How could an accident like that happen is the first thing we're thinking. And while I watched, the second airplane came into view and hit the Second World Trade Center. At that instant, I knew that we were under attack.
Flight supervisor that morning, Colonel T.J. Jackman, says that's when his training kicked in.
And we had 2-3 jets ready to go probably within, I think it was within about 90 minutes.
Lieutenant Colonel David Grit Savage was the first pilot to take off.
It was just incredible. I mean, it was one of those things where you don't even really believe it. So you're like, really? This happened to us here? So.
Both Jackman and Grit Savage were flying above the destruction in New York City by day 2, a vision forever embedded in their memories.
The hardest part was forgetting what you saw, but then the other part was having a sense of pride, a huge sense of pride in the Green Mountain Boys.
It puts a tear in my eye, like, you know, they were playing taps at the Pentagon today, and I couldn't really watch it.
The National Air Guard has forever been changed since that tragic day.
Just the Green Mountain Boys have been on the tip of the sword from that day on 9/11 till, you know, we're getting ready to deploy again. We've deployed 3 times in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom.
And remembering that day never gets easier.
Personally, you know, I don't really need to look at a calendar to know that September 11th, so I get to replay not only that day, but the years to follow and the other deployments in my head.
In addition to the 600 members of the National Air Guard, 90 members of the Army Guard were also deployed in New York City. They were activated to boost security at airports and bridges and tunnels. Live in the newsroom, Charlie Gora, News Channel 5. Bridget?